Hello and welcome to another episode of Scarah's Screamcast podcast. My name is Scarah, Damsel of the Doomed. I'll be your host. And today I'm joined by the Dachshunds of the Doomed, both of them this time. Gomez right here and Herman. Look at Herman. Show your handsome face. Very handsome boys. We're doing a not solo. We're doing a podcast today, I guess we could say. Me and the babies, me and the Dachshunds of the Doomed. I like to do those from time to time, especially right before a big event. And the big event that's coming up next week is Houston Horror Film Fest. I cannot wait for Houston Horror. It's one of my favorite events of the year, and I'm going to be talking all about that here in a little bit. We're getting the chat going so I can see what you guys have to say. And I have some really interesting horror headlines for you today. I have some voicemails to play for you. I have a question of the week that I'm going to ask. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be selling at Houston Horror, what I have to offer. A couple of the things anyway. I didn't pull everything out, but a couple of the items. And I'm going to give you a hint as to what I'll be showing at Scarah's Screamcast on Sunday, August 2nd. Now, Scarah's Screamcast, if you're not aware, is my monthly show out at Doc's Drive-In Theater where I get to show horror movies. It's so awesome. It makes me a legit horror host, and I get to pick whatever it is I want to show. We keep it a mystery, and then I drop little hints, you know what I mean, so that you know what you're getting into. And then before the movie starts, I climb up on this giant zombie head, and I tell everyone about what they're about to see. You know me, a witch likes to do a little research, so I do some deep dives into whatever I'm going to be screening. It's a blast. It's a real gas. Hold on, let me take a little sippy sip. All right. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much. I see little hearts. That's amazing. Can we make the chat bigger? It makes it easier for me. I have these bright ass lights on me, so the screens are, oh, there we go. All right, Tony pops up already. Let's put old Tony. Hey, yo, Tony. He says, I can't wait for Houston Horror Film Fest either. And then Julio, or we like to say July, he says he's looking forward to picking up his Blu-ray at Houston Horror Film Fest. That's right. I have your, July, you got one of the first 100 Blu-rays, and I will be bringing it. It's signed, it's numbered. You're going to get your Blu-ray at Houston Horror. And I put in an order for another 100 Blu-rays. So I will have some more of these. Actually, I'm only going to have 50 because 50 of them have already been accounted for. So there will only be, oh, look, the fancy graphics up there. I'm only going to have 50 Blu-rays, okay, to sell at Houston Horror. So if you didn't get one at Texas Frightmare, you didn't do the pre-order, this is 50 is what you'll get. And I may or may not make another order. I'm just not sure yet. But I'll have them. You'll have the opportunity to get them signed, and we'll be good to go, right? Okay, I'll show you what else I'm getting here in a minute. Let's get to the first news story. Is that all right, Herman? Are you ready, Gomez? We're going to do the first news story? Okay, they said we're good. Here we go. Get ready, American Horror Story fans. Ryan Murphy just dropped a massive bomb about the show's upcoming season 13, which is literally subtitled 13. And if you thought it was going to be just another Coven sequel, think again. Speaking at the NYC premiere of his new series, The Shards, okay, Murphy confirmed that season 13 is a massive multi-universe crossover featuring characters from every past season. He described it as an Avengers-style event where characters from across the entire AHS universe all come together to defeat the ultimate evil. And the cast list is absolutely stacked. Listen, Sarah Paulson is returning after 5 years of being away, and she's playing 6 or 7 different roles. Wow. Evan Peters is playing 5. And the biggest twist of all is that Jessica Lange my favorite, is coming back. Despite saying for years that she was done with the franchise, Lang has agreed to return to play all four. Oh my gosh. All four of her iconic original characters. Murphy said once he pitched the crossover idea, Lang told him, "Oh shit, now I have to do it." Behind the scenes leaks are already confirming the hype. Paulson has been spotted on set a long time alongside Gabourey Sidibe, Emma Roberts, and Frances Conroy, reprising their fan favorite witch roles from Coven. Meanwhile, Lang was photographed playing her iconic season 1 character, Constance Langdon. Season 13 will run for 13 episodes, making it the longest season we've seen since Freak Show back in 2015, which was, I think, the last one I really, really enjoyed myself. Anyway, American Horror Story 13 officially premieres on September 24th, and Murphy promises a huge kickoff, dropping 3 full episodes in week 1, followed by 3 more in week 2. Are you guys excited about this? I haven't been as excited for an American Horror Story. It's been a while. I say Freak Show was the last one I really enjoyed because I really, really, really love Jessica Lange. I think she made that show. And so when she left, I feel like the show kind of went down a little in quality. And there were some of the seasons were just written horribly. I hate to say it. I couldn't get through the Kim Kardashian one. I watched a few episodes, couldn't get through it. I couldn't get the one that was in NYC. It just wasn't appealing to me. It didn't grab me. I did like the one that was about aliens. I did enjoy that one, go figure. I'm a fan of that type of stuff. And I like the one about Armageddon and things like that, but not nearly as much as I liked Freak Show, Coven, Murder House. What was the other one? There was one more that Jessica Lange was in. I can't remember. I don't know. If you guys know, you let me know. Silky Johnson, 9317. What do you are you laughing because of what I said? Ryan Murphy, what his show is called, the one he's filming, Shard, I think is what it is, but you know, it could be confused with something else. You know what I'm saying? Shard. Let's get to the next one. Hold on. Oh, girl. I just took a sip of the Crittoli. I'm drinking lemonade Crittoli with true lemon, that crystallized lemon in it. And it's tart, and it's got me right there. It's got me right in the salivary glands. Ooh. Okay. Let's go. Mike Flanagan is tackling Stephen King once again, and Prime Video just dropped its first look at his brand new miniseries adaptation, Carrie. Flanagan, the mastermind behind hits like The Haunting of Hill House and The Fall of House of Usher, is putting a modern spin on King's classic 1974 novel. This time around, the story is reimagined through the lens of cyberbullying. The new teaser trailer spotlights an Instagram account specifically created to target and harass Carrie White, while still teasing that iconic blood-soaked prom scene and the absolute telekinetic havoc that it follows. Rising star Summer Howell takes the lead role of Carrie White, and Midnight Mass star Samantha Sloyan. Wait a minute. You know what? Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back a little bit because I feel like I messed that up. Okay. Go back a little bit more. If you're watching this live or hearing this, I'm so sorry. Okay, here's where I'm going to start. Okay. The new teaser trailer spotlights an Instagram account specifically created to target and harass poor Carrie, while still teasing that iconic blood-soaked prom scene and the absolute telekinetic havoc that it follows. Rising star Summer Howell takes on the lead role of Carrie White. Midnight Mass star Samantha Sloyan plays her abusive mother, and horror legend Matthew Lillard steps in as the high school principal. The supporting cast is packed with fan favorites, including Amber Midhunter. Is that right? No, it's Amber Midthunder. What a cool name. As the sympathetic gym teacher. Plus, a whole lineup of frequent Flanagan collaborators like Katie Siegel and Raul Coley. This marks Flanagan's fourth Stephen King project following Gerald's Game, Dr. Sleep, The Life of Chuck. Of course, King's novel was famously adapted back in 1976 by director Brian De Palma, and it starred Sissy Spacek back then, and it became an absolute horror classic. And from what I read, Flanagan's not trying to remake Brian De Palma's version of Carrie. First of all, it's a miniseries, and he is trying to explore the little corners of the story that maybe could use a little extra light shined on them. You know what I mean? And he's trying to bring it in, I think, for the Gen Z of those amongst us. I say that, but I think everyone's, can enjoy it. Anywho, you won't have to wait long for this new take. All 8 episodes of Carrie drop at once on Prime Video starting October 7th. I've been seeing a little buzz, I got to tell you, about the casting of Carrie. In the novel by Stephen King, Carrie is unattractive. She has acne and she is overweight. However, in the first adaptation on film, once again, was Brian De Palma's version of Carrie, which was so good. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It was so well done. But he used Spissy. He used Spissy. I did it again. He used Sissy Spacek as the titular role of Carrie White. And, she's a wisp of a girl. She's very thin and beautiful. I don't know if Sissy was unconventionally beautiful at the time. Perhaps. I don't know. But Sissy Spacek is gorgeous. Still, her acting and the writing of the screenplay was enough to convince me and many others that she was an outcast. You know what she seemed like? She seemed like the weird homeschooled kid. You all knew one. The weird homeschool kid whose mother wouldn't let her cut her hair. The weird homeschool kid who wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter. You know what I mean? That's who Carrie White, Brian De Palma's version seemed like. But she was very thin, beautiful girl. And then all of the iterations, all of the Carries since then have also been conventionally attractive, thin actresses. And people are asking, why is that? Why can't they use an actress that looks more like the character from the book? I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure you could find an actress that would do it. There's character actors aplenty. So I don't know what I think about that. I do think it would be cool to see a Carrie that's closer to the Stephen King version, of what he wrote the character to be. But at the same time, I'm not. It's not going to deter me from watching it. I will always be a fan of De Palma's version, and I always think his is the gold standard. What I like about Flanagan's version is, first of all, I like Mike Flanagan's work. He rarely misses in my book. Secondly, it's a miniseries, which I find interesting. I grew up in the era where there were miniseries on network television all the time, and it was an event, honey. I loved a good miniseries, boy. Did y'all? Let me check our chat here. Chris says, do we need that? I would love a TV series on the Dark Tower. Don't get me wrong, I love Carrie, but a miniseries? That's what I'm saying, Chris. I would prefer a miniseries over a film because they've already done the film, I think, 3 times now. So if you're gonna redo Carrie yet a goddamn again, might as well make it a miniseries. I'm not gonna fight it. David says, I read that she and Travolta didn't get along and she was going to be in Urban Cowboy, and Travolta said no way. Interesting. I didn't read that. I did read that she met De Palma on the set of Phantom of the Paradise because she was the assistant set decorator or something like that, which I found interesting. But I don't know about, I know all sorts of factoids about Carrie. I know all sorts of facts about Carrie. I have researched that film within an inch of its life. For example, Sissy Spacek, when she was on film, whenever she was being tortured by her classmates or her mother, almost all of her physical looks, the way that she holds her body, her facial expressions, all of that is taken from religious iconography of saints who were stoned to death and things and such like things like that. That's where she got her inspiration. Isn't that cool? I thought so. I loved Urban Cowboy, by the way, David. It's one of my favorites. Chris says, she is such a classic figure of our subculture. There are tons of great King books to turn into great miniseries. That said, I'll watch it. Yeah, exactly. I love the Dark Tower series. I'm rereading right now The Talisman because I know that's not technically part of the Dark Tower, but it's related. And the Talisman books, the third one is coming out in October. So I'm rereading them. The Talisman, The Black House, and then there's going to be a third one called There Are Other Worlds Than These, and I can't wait. I'm going to get back to reading that tonight. All right. Let's see. What's our next one? Okay. Story number 3. Are you ready for it? Y'all ready for it, boys? Yeah? Okay. Sorry. They're trying to sleep. I keep messing with my dogs. Here we go. Universal Studios is turning up the volume for this year's Halloween Horror Nights, announcing a brand new haunted house dedicated to the one and only Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. That's right, the attraction titled Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, will take fans on a terrifying trip through 45 years of his iconic rock and roll career. Following the heavy metal legend, I don't want to laugh when I say this. Good Lord. Let me redo that part. Following the heavy metal legends passing last year, I should have practiced this one before. Okay. Universal is honoring the heavy metal legend and his legacy with a journey that spans all 13 of his solo albums. Guests will board the crazy train and travel from his early childhood in Birmingham, England, all the way through the Osbourne Asylum, inspired by his landmark album, Diary of a Madman. Along the way, fans will encounter the many famous iterations of Ozzy, including Madman Ozzy, Werewolf Ozzy, and the classic Prince of Darkness. And yes, for everyone wondering, it wouldn't be a true Ozzy experience without a nod to the infamous bat moment. You know what I'm talking about. Sharon and Jack Osbourne called the house a wonderful tribute, saying Ozzy loved giving fans new ways to experience his music. The new attraction joins an already massive lineup this year, including houses for Stranger Things, Hellraiser, and Evil Dead Burn. And to top it off, limited edition merch, including a shirt and an Ozzy acrylic figure, will be available during the event. Halloween Horror Nights kicks off at Universal Orlando Resort on August 28th and at Universal Studios Hollywood on September 3rd. What? So I think that's fantastic. And I don't know if there is another haunted house out there that is based on a person, not a horror icon, not a horror movie, not a concept like, haunted asylum, beware, it's crazy people, which I think, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Not like creepy clowns, a concept. I don't know if I've ever heard of a haunted house being based on a musician, a legend, an icon. I just don't know. I kind of wish, I honestly wish that they did it before he passed so he could see it. But I don't, it makes me wonder if I don't want to go there. I do think it's a cool way for fans to pay their respects. And it's a nice way for the Osbournes to, make a little money, I suppose. Oh my gosh. Let me look at the chat before I go on to the new one. Talisman's your number one King book. Yeah, I read The Talisman in high school and I loved it so much. I think I've read that book, I don't know how many times. It's one of those that I'll go back through, probably once a decade. I just love that. Love it, love it. Such a great story. So creative. Silky says, would love to check out the Hellraiser attraction. Out of all of them, out of Evil Dead Burn and Hellraiser, and they did the Art the Clown one last year, and Ozzy, I think Hellraiser is probably going to be the coolest. Evil Dead Burn will be cool too because of the Deadites and stuff, but Hellraiser, the world building that's been done for that franchise, you can't really get any better. And having the Cenobites, around every corner, they can get really, really freaky with the Cenobites. I think I reported on this already, and my question is, oh, hello, Herman. My question is, how Hellraiser is it's not Hellraiser is S&M coded. I wonder if they're going to lean into that or if they're going to shy away from it. I'm assuming they're going to shy away from it because it's Universal, but that would be really cool if they leaned into it. Don't you guys think? Yes, you do. Sweet suffering. Sweet suffering. Let's read our fourth story, okay? Horror auteur Eli Roth is back, and he's bringing us what might be the most gruesome film of his entire career. His new movie, Ice Cream Man, is a twisted take on the classic Pied Piper story 20 years in the making. The concept is simple but deeply unsettling. A mysterious ice cream truck rolls into town and uses its music to turn local children against their parents. Roth describes it as The Birds, but with killer kids. And if you're wondering how gory it gets, Roth completely bypassed the MPAA ratings board. Speaking with Daniel Kurland of Bloody Disgusting, Roth explained how the massive theatrical success of Terrifier 3 inspired him to start his own independent studio, allowing him to self-release the film directly to the theaters, completely unrated, raw, and unfiltered. He told Kurland he set out to beat every kill he's ever done for this movie, featuring more gore than all of his previous films combined, which is interesting because it's going to be the kids doing the killing, right? This includes scene-stealing moments where kids pull apart bodies and use baseball bats on their parents. But don't worry, Roth says the child actors and their horror fan parents had the absolute time of their lives on set, describing the blood-soaked shoot as Christmas morning for the kids. You can see the carnage for yourself when Ice Cream Man hits movie theaters on August 7th. I'll be there. Actually, August 7th, I'll be in Houston, but I will be in the theater to see Ice Cream Man. I enjoyed Thanksgiving. I like how Eli Roth has been leaning into it lately, with his movies, with his horror movies, I should say. You can tell he is a horror fan. Eli Roth is a horror fan filmmaker that makes fun horror movies. Okay. He's not out there doing elevated horror, which I love. I love elevated horror. He's out there doing fun horror movies. Who doesn't want to see who doesn't want to see kids rip their parents apart? I, for one, do. I'll be there to watch The kids beat their parents to death with a baseball bat. Why not? Why not? Silky says he's super excited for ice cream now after hearing that. That's why I do the stories. Tell that to all of the PR firms for the movie so they'll send me to the free screenings for the press screenings. I'm already getting some of those, but I'd like to get a lot more. I think on my end, I have to send out some press kits or whatever. I have to do some work. I'm working on it, Marge. I'm working on it. Now I can't get Motorhead's Hellraiser out of my head. And that's a great feeling. That's right, David. I wonder if they'll be playing that in the haunted house. They will. They have to. Okay, we're coming to the last of the news stories. Are you ready? Here we go. Are you ready, Herman? We're going to do another one. This one's about Houston horror. If you're heading to the Houston Horror Film Fest this August 7th through 9th, the convention center... Let me start over. Gomez is pushing up against me, something fierce. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. If you're heading to the Houston Horror Film Fest this August 7th through 9th, the convention center panel stage is stacked with huge fan favorite reunions. Headline panels featured on this year's lineup include a massive reunion for the final girls of Friday the 13th, featuring franchise legends spanning across the entire series, including Adrienne King, Amy Steele, Dana Kimmel, and Monica Keena. Okay, this is a big deal, big panel. Next, a panel reuniting the cast of Greg Araki's 90s classic, The Doom Generation. That features Rose McGowan, James Duvall, and Jonathan Sheck. All right, that's going to be a fun one. McGowan will also pull double duty, joining co-star Marley Shelton for a dedicated retrospective panel on Robert Rodriguez's Splatterfest Planet Terror. And for fans of modern horror hits, there's a featured panel celebrating the sci-fi horror sensation Megan, featuring stars Jenna Davis and Violet McGraw. Check out HoustonHorrorFilmFest.com for a full list of panels. And by the way, not to toot my own horn, beep, beep, but I will be moderating the panels for the Friday the 13th Scream Queens. That'll be me. I'm going to do the Megan panel, and I'm going to be moderating the Doom Generation panel. So I hope to see you there, but I urge you to go to HoustonHorrorFilmFest.com and look at all of the panels. There's some really cool filmmaker panels, the Soska sisters. There's the Villains panel. Lots of really cool panels. Go to HoustonHorrorFilmFest.com to check that out if you are going to this event. All right. Anyone in the chat going to Houston Horror Film Fest? I want to hear from you if you are. I know you are, July. I'll be seeing you there. What's next on the screen here? There should be another one. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. Nope. Go back up. Go back up, please. Okay, stop right there. Go back up. Keep going. Stop. No more moving of the thing. Okay, what did I want to tell you? Don't forget, attendees will get access to a live Q&A with over 70 independent horror filmmakers screening their movies across the weekend. All panel access is included with standard festival admission passes, okay? So if you're there and you go to the celebrity panels, that's amazing. You can do Q&As there. But also, they're screening like 70 films at Houston Horror Film Festival. And you can attend those and attend the Q&As for all of those as well. And you do not have to pay extra for that. You don't pay, it's included in the ticket price. All right. Speaking of the ticket price, you know what? This witch is feeling generous. I will be moderating panels. I will be tabling at Houston Horror Film Fest. And because of that, they gave me a code to use. This promo code you can use if you still haven't purchased tickets. You can do so now and get 40% off with my code FilmFest 2026. Not 2026. Don't write that in, you perv. In all caps, FilmFest 2026. FilmFest 2026. That'll get you 40% off your tickets to Houston Horror Film Fest, okay? Don't say I never gave you nothing. Oh, good. Silky said he'll be there. It'll be him and his girl's first time going. Stop by my table. Silky, say hi. All right. You know what, Silky? This is for you. What I'm going to do next is for you and for anyone who has not been to Houston Horror Film Fest before. Or if you have been and you're like, man, you know what, Scarah? I could really use some tips. I could use, how you say in English, a survival guide for Houston Horror Film Fest. Well, I got one for you. I thought about it. And I thought I need to make a list, of tips, of suggestions for people going to Houston Horror Film Fest. I've been attending Houston Horror Film Fest for quite some time now, and I'm there not only as a fan, I'm there as a guest and a panel moderator now. Very proud of that. And I have some tips for you, okay? We're going to call this the Houston Horror Survival Guide. If you want to make the most of Houston Horror Film Fest at the Marriott West Chase from August 7th through the 9th, let me bless you with my top pro tips for conquering Houston's biggest horror weekend, all right? Tip number 1, pregame your food and water. Look, it's August, it's Houston. That means it's going to be brutal outside. It is very hot. It is very humid. Houston does not play with the humidity, fellas. No. In fact, I stay there at the hotel. I get there, I do not leave. I do not go outside except for having, there's a breezeway you have to walk through. I do not go outside until Monday when I go sit at the pool with my friends. That's it. Otherwise, too hot for me out there. The convention floor fills up really quick, all right? You are going to want to make sure you have your bottle of water with you, maybe pack some sneaky snacks, but also know that you can take advantage of the restaurant that's inside of the hotel. There's a restaurant. There's also a little mini bar set up in the lobby, and they have snacks. And there is that little lobby store, that has a little gift shop. You can buy all your little hotel amenities. They also have food. But you need to stay hydrated is the main thing. Why is this thing moving all crazy? Oh, you need to stay hydrated is the main thing. Because you don't want to get lightheaded and your blood sugar drops or something right in the middle of your photo shoot. Can we not move that maybe? Let's just leave it where it is. Thank you. We don't want to, we don't need you having a crash out because you didn't drink enough water and it's hot outside. So make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated. Tip number 2, if you're staying in the hotel, and I recommend that you do, they serve Starbucks in the lobby gift shop. But listen, you're going to need to get there early if you want it for your morning coffee because the line gets very serious very quickly. It gets very deep. The people that work in the gift shop are super quick. They are super quick with it, but you will be waiting in line. So if you're on a time crunch like myself, who has to be, seated at my table by the time the doors open for VIP, make sure you allow yourself enough time for that Starbucks coffee. You don't have to get Starbucks. I'm not a huge Starbucks fan, but I do like to get the extra espresso, you know what I mean, in my cup. The hotel itself offers coffee, of course, in the rooms, and I drink all that up. But then I grab myself a Starbucks and I go sit at the table. So just know, pro tip number 2, if you're going to get Starbucks at the hotel gift shop, make sure you line up early because the line gets deep quickly. Tip number 3, this I would consider a bonus pro tip. Okay. But if you have the means, I would suggest that you book your hotel check-in for Thursday. Now, the convention itself is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? But the pros, like myself, we go on Thursday and we check out on Monday. And the reason for that, let's leave it here. The reason for that is you want to be able to check in, get your room situated, and just relax, because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are going to be a whirlwind. It goes by so fast. There's so much to do and so much to see. You don't want to get there and immediately, bam, you're thrown into it. If you have the means and you're able to do it Thursday through Monday, I suggest giving it a try. A lot of people use this, as their vacation. And if you're one of those people, Thursday through Monday, especially if you're a vendor, because you can't, what you're going to break down Sunday and leave and drive back to wherever you're coming from. It's just too much work. It's just too much. Or if you're somebody who's there for the full weekend and you're leaving on Sunday, what are you going to, you have to check out of your hotel room at 11 or something, but the convention goes on to 4. So, what are you going to do with all your stuff? It's a lot. So my pro tip number 3 is, if you can do it, stay at the hotel starting on Thursday, check in on Thursday, check out on Monday. It'll be so much less stress for you. Tip number 4, take advantage of the free parking. Unlike massive downtown conventions that charge $50 a day, the Marriott West Chase offers free on-site parking. Here's a pro tip, though. Hold on, Herman, do you need to get down? What's going on? Here's a pro tip, though. You need to arrive early before the doors open to make sure you snag a spot, all right? Don't get there. If you show up in the middle of the convention and you think you're going to get a parking spot, especially on a Saturday, it's probably not going to happen. Do not, under any circumstances, park in the fire lane, or the tow-away zones. Don't park there. You will get towed. I promise you. It happened to a bunch of people last year. Don't do it. If you think there's not going to be any parking, just take an Uber. You know what I mean? It can be done. It can be done. But if you can take advantage of that hotel free parking, do it. It's sweet. It's one of the only conventions that you do not have to pay to park at currently. So take advantage while you can. All right. Tip number 5, cash is still king for autographs. When thousands of fans pack that floor, the Wi-Fi slows down and card readers tend to go offline. So bring cash for celebrity tables and vendor booths. A lot of the celebrities only accept cash. So you got to have it. If you bring the cash, you plan out in advance, you'll save yourself from, the long line at the ATM and the fees you have to pay at the ATM. Nobody wants to do that, right? Tip number 6, walk up directly for guest table photo ops. Walk up directly to the guest table for those photo ops. You can book photo ops in advance, all right? Those are the professional ones. Those are the ones where you quickly stand with the celebrity. There's a nice backdrop. There's nice lighting. You have 1.5 seconds with them and then you're out, all right? And those are great. You can go online and book those. Go online to HoustonHorrorFilmFest.com and you can book your celebrity photo ops, the professional ones. But the tip here is you can also just walk right up to their table, stand in line if there's a line, and you can get just a photo with them with your cell phone. Somebody will take it for you. You can buy an 8x10 and have them sign it. You can bring something with you and have them sign it. There's going to be a fee for all of that, and everybody's different. And on the website, I believe they list the prices for how much they charge for all of those things. But you do not need to do it one way or the other. Sometimes some people do both. Some people do the professional photo op and they go by their table. That's an option. They'll do the professional photo op, and then they print that out, by the way, that day right there. And then they bring that to the table and have them sign it. It's up to you. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean? Guests are at their tables like all weekend long. They're selling their autographs directly to you. So just, walk up, say hi, grab you a photo with them. If you want that professional photo op, book it. You could do both. You could do one or the other. Either way. Like I said, there's more ways to skin a cat. Tip number 7, support. Please support the local filmmakers at Houston Horror Film Fest. Houston Horror Film Fest shines a huge spotlight on indie cinema. Excuse me, Gomez. Houston Horror Film Fest shines a huge spotlight on indie cinema. Step out of the vendor hall for a few moments, okay? And catch at least one block of local Texas short films. When you catch a panel or a screening and you talk to the crew afterwards, it makes them so happy. Making a film, a short or a feature, is a tremendous feat. And being selected to screen at Houston Horror is a huge honor. So giving those filmmakers an audience is a way to honor what they do. And you never know. I mean, these could be the future filmmakers that are going to be making the new and big things coming out, soon to come. Bonus tip. Here's a bonus for you about the film screenings. It's a good way to get off your feet as well. Or you could treat it like a sensory break. The rooms are dark. There's nice chairs for you to sit in. And you can go in and sit in a film screening room and watch a block of movies and just take a load off for a little while and get away from the loud sounds of the convention hall. It's a nice way to rest and a nice way to take in some entertainment, all right? And Houston Horror does it right. They treat their filmmakers right. So go ahead and go on out there. By the way, here's a shameless plug for 5. Check your Film Fest schedules. And I think 5 is playing sometime Saturday morning. I want to say around 10. I can't remember. I don't have that in front of me. But 5 is the short that I produced. Director Michael Minette. And it stars Indira Starr. Anyway, it's a really good horror short. Hope to see you at that one. All right. Let's see. Scooch up to the next tip. Okay. Tip number 8. Arrive early for the big panels. Reunions like the Arrive early for the big panels. Reunions like the final girls of Friday the 13th and the Doom Generation will fill up quickly. Those seats will be taken super fast. You're going to want to scope out the schedule and get in line before room capacity hits max. That's all I got to say about that. If you want to get to one of those panels, especially the ones that are going to be popular, you need to make sure you get in line for them. Sometimes those lines go all the way out from the screening room to the lobby. So just keep your eyes peeled if it's something you want to see. And those panels are fun. If I'm hosting it, I for sure make it a priority to make them informative and fun, okay? It's entertaining. Tip number 9, plan around the floor hours. Friday night is short, okay? Friday night runs from I think the floor opens at 5 and it closes at 10. And then Saturday, it opens at noon and closes at 7. Sunday is noon to 5. So you're going to want to plan accordingly. If you have the VIP passes, you get in an hour earlier than everybody else and use that to your advantage. But when you're thinking about which celebrities you want to meet, because some of them will have long lines, you take that into consideration, those hours. When you're thinking about when you want to see the vendors, take those hours into consideration. And remember, support the vendors. Remember that the vendors are basically how the celebrities get there. Vendors pay table fees, and those table fees help to book the celebrities. All right? So support the vendors. There are some really tremendous artists. Look, they've already got Halloween out in the stores, and I've been checking it out. I like to see what they've got, and it's so right now. It's just a lot of mass-produced plastic stuff and AI paintings. I've been seeing a lot of AI paintings on the shelves, AI art, I should say, AI fart. And what's cool about events like Houston Horror is they will have handcrafted, one-of-a-kind items that you will feel good about purchasing. You will feel good about bringing into your home. If you go to Home Goods and you get, whatever pumpkin gnome they've got, you're going to have it. And so are, several hundreds of thousands of people will have it too. I don't know how many people are buying pumpkin gnomes. I'm not. I'm going to say this right here, right now. I don't think gnomes belong in the Halloween aisle. I don't like it. It's a pet peeve. I don't like pastel Halloween. I don't like Summerween as a theme. I don't like people carving watermelons like jack-o'-lanterns. I don't like it. It doesn't sit right with my spirit. All right, tip number 10. Protect your autograph haul, buddy. Bring a hard sleeve folder or a poster tube or something like that. And make sure you have that on hand, because if you get those celebrity photo ops or if you get signed 8x10s, you're going to want to protect them. Like I said, the screening rooms, the panel rooms, and the floor, it gets crowded, and it's really easy to crinkle and crease those pictures unless they're protected. So bring something to protect those, all right? Bonus tip, have a backpack, a big backpack or a big purse to store all of your goodies. So if you're buying things from the vendors and you have 17 bags that you're carrying around the floor, you're bound to leave one of those bags at a vendor's table. I've done it before. I've had friends that have done it. Luckily, horror fans are really cool people, and every time I've left a bag somewhere, it's been returned to me. I've had good karma at these things. But it is stressful for a moment whenever you're like, oh no, I lost my stuff. Oh my God. So the solution is bring a backpack or a big bag that you could put all of your bags into. So you're just carrying one bag filled with several bags. You know what I mean? Tip number 11, don't sleep on the nightlife. The vendor room closes early on Saturday. But official Q&As and after parties run well past midnight. So pace yourself during the day, bub. You're going to need your energy for the late night fun. Friday night, for example, it's Rave to the Grave with DJ Knots. And Saturday, it's Camp Nightmare with Postmodern Sleaze. The parties, I think, are included in your VIP ticket price if you got the VIP. If not, it's like $15 or something like that. You can buy them in advance or cash at the door. General etiquette reminders, okay? So those were your survival tips for how to survive Houston Horror Film Fest. Stress-free, the best way to do it, you know what I mean? And while we're here, let me give you some general etiquette. All right. When the elevator doors open, if you're on the elevator, you get off first, and then the people who are waiting to get on second. So the people on the elevator, when the elevator doors open, people on the elevator, they get to exit first. If you're waiting to get on the elevator, you wait for them to exit. Don't try to rush in. Don't do it. It's rude. Nobody ever told you. I'm telling you now. You wait for people to get off the elevator before you get on. Okay? In fact, if you're staying at the hotel and you're staying on one of the lower floors, consider taking the stairs to free up the elevators. But I will say I've never had to wait for very long for an elevator at Houston Horror. Those elevators run pretty well, so don't worry about it. Here's another little etiquette tip. Do not crowd a vendor booth. Don't, if you're in, especially the ones that you can go into, if you're just in there, if you're just chatting and people are trying to buy something, let those people buy something. Vendors pay a table fee, like I said, and they are trying to make their table fee back. They're trying to sell enough merch to at least cover the cost of getting a table at Houston Horror and paying for their hotel room. So just be aware. Everybody loves to see everyone and chat with everyone, but just, be aware of your surroundings. And if it looks like someone's wanting to come up to buy something, it's a good opportunity for you to scooch over and let them. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Don't crowd a booth. Be mindful, by the way, of celebrity booths too. Be mindful of your time when you are visiting a celebrity at their booth. Just be aware of your surroundings. If there wasn't a line when you got up to talk to the celebrity and you're jaw flapping, right? And you're thinking this whole time that there's not a line, you're probably mistaken. There's probably a line that's going to form behind you inevitably. So just be aware of when that happens so that you can allow that guest to chat with other people. Okay? Everybody wants to chat with everybody. Just, take turns. It's bad. Oh, and be nice, of course, to the volunteers and staff of Houston Horror Film Festival. If it weren't for them, none of us would get to go and enjoy ourselves. And I know you guys love this event as much as I do. We all have such a fantastic time. People it goes so fast because people are having an amazing time and an amazing experience. So while we're there, let's be nice to the Houston Horror staff and volunteers. Let's be nice to the hotel staff. They always are very nice to us there. And of course, let's be nice to each other. Horror fans are the best fans of all fandoms. I will believe that till my dying day. Sometimes when alcohol gets introduced, they might challenge that. But normally everybody's really cool. So just be cool to everybody. Let's make it a good experience for everyone. And the last thing I'll say, and this is probably going to be controversial. Hold on. The last thing I'll say is, and then I'm going to go to the comments. This always happens, right? Like, I am part of a lot of the groups online, Texas Horror Convention fans and, Texas Frightmare Weekend fans and Houston Horror Film Fest convention fans and all of these groups. It's fun to see people put their pictures up in those groups after the events and talk about their tips, and any news they know. And it's just fun to stay up to date with all of that. But here's where I think it's bad form. I think it's bad form for people to go into those groups and say and talk about, and it's somebody will prompt the question. Somebody will ask the question, who is the worst guest you've ever met at a horror convention? Who is the rudest person you've ever met in a horror convention? I don't like that. I don't like it because it's negative. Why don't we just focus on who's been the coolest guests? I see that too. I see them asking those questions, but at this point, we all kind of know like who are the grumpy grumps, But okay, sometimes people go in those groups and they say, "Oh, so and so is really rude and really, really grumpy," and so that's going to make people either A, not want to go visit that guest, or it's going to have people have a preconceived idea about that guest, and they're going to be expecting that guest to be rude to them. And either way, it's just not cool. I just think it's bad form. Don't be one of those people that goes online and talks about so and so being so rude and terrible. And also, don't bash the convention online. I think that's rude too. Who are you? Do you have I'm sorry. Did you have a horror convention that you successfully launched? No, you don't? Okay, then zip it, okay? Gosh. All right, to the chat real quick. Yes, somebody agrees with me. July says, Thursday check-in and Monday check-out is a lifesaver. Tony says, hold on, I got to put Herman down. He's acting a fool. Get down. Ugh. Tony says, table photos are so much better because you get more time with the guest and can check your camera immediately to see if the photo came out good or not. That's a good point. You don't really know. They take those, if you're in the pro photo ops, they always look good though. I feel like the pro photo ops do a good job, but you just, it's a gamble. You don't know. But I do like the table ones. Why did, hold on. I feel like Herman pulled my top a little bit and I got to readjust. Oh, Lord. Where was I on the thing? I could easily name some names of people that hog up celebrities' time. And then a long line starts forming behind them. I experienced it again this past weekend at a horror convention. That's what Tony says. And Tony's gone to like every convention in the area. He's very well known at the conventions. Yes, people I don't think are aware of that. And it makes the person at the table, speaking from experience, if I want to talk to whoever I'm talking to, and I don't want to have to tell that person to take a hike, but I feel bad when I see somebody standing behind them, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to make that person wait for too long. You know what I mean? Does this look weird? Anyway, just be aware. Sometimes it's hard for us to be self-aware these days. I've been noticing it. You know why I think that is? I think it's because of this. Look. I think we're doing a little too much of this. We're doing a little too much of, always looking down at our phones. And when you're always looking down at your phones, you're not taking in your environment and you're not reading the room. And then you just get used to not doing that. And that's what happens. That's why I worry about the children growing up in the world of cell phones, because they are not learning. They're not getting incidental learning from their environment. They're just always looking at their phones, becoming little AI bots. They're becoming AI-ified. Oh, Lord. Somebody says they're excited to catch the Barn 3. They missed it at Frightmare. I didn't get to see it either. So I'll have a table. I'm not going to be able to see that many of the films that are playing while the convention floor is open, but I will get to see some that are playing at night, hopefully. It'll depend on how tired I am. It's exhausting. It's exhausting being at a table all day. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. But I enjoy it. I really do like it. All right. Let's play before I move on, I'm going to show you what I have for Houston, okay? I showed you already. I'll have the DVD for sale, and I will have this. Hold on. Okay. You remember, I should have taken the tape off of this. So you remember the original Scarah t-shirt. I have purple masking tape on it because that's how I can tell what size it is. You remember this. This is the original Scarah t-shirt. Paul Bearer Press printed it up for me. It is beautiful. I love it. I designed it. Dr. Abominable helped me with the layout. I have some of these left. I did not do I did one reorder, and so I have some left from the reorder. I cannot tell you right now what sizes I have, but there will be some of these left, and once they're gone forever. So if you want one of those, come get you one. And then I did a reorder of this design. This design was done by this design was done by Dr. Abominable, and I had it printed DTG at Acclaim Screen Printing. This is our take on A Nightmare on Elm Street with myself and Gomez as Freddy Krueger. This was a Scream Theater shirt. Scream Theater, my monthly event. Like I said, I like to give little hints to let people know what I'm going to be showing. And that art on this t-shirt was a hint for whenever I showed A Nightmare on Elm Street. You can't get much more direct than that. Now, let me give you a hint for what I will be showing at Scarah Scream Theater this very Sunday, August 2nd. This is a visual hint, so if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm going to open it up. It's got snaps. Oh, and then I unsheath it. ASMR. Ooh. Look at this. Chat, what horror movie do you think I will be showing if I have one of these that I'm going to use for the photo shoot that I'll be doing for it, for the promotional materials. What do you think? Yeah, and it's real. This is a real one. It's not a prop, so I have to be very careful. Look at the shine on that bad boy. Look at the shine on that blade. What do y'all think I'll be showing if this is what I'm using in the promotional materials? Let me know. Let me know. That'll be for this Sunday. Where's Herman? I don't want to accidentally chop off his tail. You know what? Let me put this back in right now. It makes me nervous having this blade out. Let's go ahead and play that voicemail for the question of the week last week.
Hey, Sarah, calling in about the B movie question. My name is Danny. I comment on YouTube under the name Lover's Lake. I discovered you last week through the James Oliver episode because I'm a big James Oliver fan and I'm a part of his street team, so I tuned in for that one. And your whole show and stuff is super cool, so I'm definitely a fan now. But anyway, for the B movie question, I'm going to have to go with Rampage by Uwe Boll. It's a movie that is very divisive. Some people hate it. Some people love it. For me, I love it because it's madness, it's chaos, and surprisingly really good twist at the end. And some B-horror movies lack really any good writing. So to see a twist as, interesting and entertaining as the one that happened at the end of Rampage, I thought that was pretty charming. The rest of the movie is not charming, but it's chaos. It's insane. And I also kind of like the lead actor who plays the main character. But yep, that's my answer. Hope all is well. Stay spooky.
Thank you so much for that call, and thanks for the new follow. I appreciate it. I had a really good time with James Oliver. He was a fabulous guest. If you haven't seen that episode, it's the one right before this one. And you know what? I don't think I've seen Rampage, but you've sold it for me because you said it's got a really good ending, and I am a fan of killer endings. I like an ending that packs a punch. So I'm going to check Rampage out. All right. Do we have another call? Let's play it.
The movie that I will defend to the death is Street Trash.
Yeah.
It was made as a social commentary on how we treat homeless people, and it became one of the greatest melt movies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that dies melts in spectacularly fluorescent colors.
Yeah.
They did a remake not too long ago. That one's okay, but the main bad guy never did an ounce of acting. Watch that movie and tell me that he was not born for that role.
Wow. You know what? I didn't know that about the main actor. Very nice observation. I am a fan of Street Trash. I do like melty horror, and it's neon. You know what I mean? It's the coloring of that movie. It's fabulous. Very, very 80s. I'm going to have to show that one at Scream Theater sometime. I wonder when. That reminds me, let's put the phone number up. I have a question. Call Scarah's Scary Hotline at 512-710-8766. I need you to let me know, what movie should I screen in September? What movie should I screen at Scarah's Scream Theater in September? I want a movie that is no longer than an hour and a half. I'm talking 90 minutes or less. And I want a great horror movie. What are your recommendations? Give me a call, 512-710-8766, and let me know, what horror movie should I show at Scarah's Scream Theater this September? All right, moving on. Tony says, how many Hey Yo Tony shirts are you bringing for sale at your table? Tony, those shirts are going to happen. Oh, they will. Maybe we'll get those done for our, I don't know if we'll have them in time for the anniversary, but that would be great, wouldn't it? I'd wear a Hey Yo Tony shirt. Silky says they'll be there Sunday. It's definitely going to be one of the, okay. Great. All right. What else did I want to tell you before we wrap up? So I might not have a Screamcast next week. because normally we do these live on Wednesdays, right? Right. Yes, we do. Well, this coming Wednesday, August 5th, I am going to see Hedwig the Angry Inch, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which is one of my favorite musicals. It's I think they're playing it at Emo's, but the guy who played Hedwig, John Cameron Mitchell? I can't remember. Anyway, that guy's going to be in attendance, and I'm a huge fan. So I bought tickets for that eons ago, and now it's coming up. And the problem is, it's like, okay, well, you could just bump the podcast to Thursday or something, but I'll be leaving for Houston on Thursday. I'll probably be packing for Houston on Monday and Tuesday. So that it kind of leaves no room for the podcast next week, but that's all right. Because I'll go to Houston and I'm going to gather up. I'll do lives and stuff. I'll do lives and lots of videos from Houston, but I'm also going to be gathering up a bunch of stories. So when I come back the following week, that Wednesday, I will have lots to tell you, and hopefully I'll have a few of my friends will join me. That'll be at Houston. Hopefully they'll come back here and join me, and we can all just, do a little convention chat, a little chit chat wrap up, where we will not say things like, oh, you know who the worst guest was? No, I won't have it. I won't have it. I will highlight who was the best, though, I will. All right. I think I'm checking my notes here, but I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Scarah's Screamcast. Herman's already left. He got fed up with Gomez, but Gomez, we're going to sign off. Okay, sweet baby. All right, sweet boy. This is Gomez, Dachshund of the Doomed, and my name is Scarah, Damsel of the Doomed, and I will see you in your screams.